What's up guys, I'm doing another Call of Duty Black Ops 4 video, and today we have some huge leaks and rumors about Black Ops 4's campaign, multiplayer, and zombies mode. We have huge leaks and rumors today, and I'm going to be sharing you guys with all of them right here, right now. So all this comes from Matt Harris on Twitter. He's a leaker, an insider. He has apparently inside sources, and he apparently has some news about Black Ops 4 and about Black Ops 4's multiplayer and zombies and why there's no campaign in Black Ops 4. And so I made some videos yesterday about Black Ops 4, one, not having a campaign mode and having it just be gone, and how there's no campaign mode and all that stuff, and also how it's going to be replaced with a Battle Royale mode that is allegedly coming as well. So if you guys haven't seen those videos, you guys should check those out on my channel, and then you can come back to this video and we're going to pick up exactly where these rumors and leaks and everything have left off. So he starts and he says, "I'll start with Black Ops 4's campaign being shut down. As you saw in the tweets from TGR, the campaign was loosely going to regard time travel, but not in the way that he suggested. It was much more meta than that. Using the technology explored in Black Ops 3, the simulations and artificial intelligence and DNI units, the very course of history in the Black Ops universe was going to be altered. Clandestine government forces were going to warp history to better suit their goals, and all soldiers and operatives would be put through these simulations so they knew the right version of the past. Eventually, these methods wouldn't be needed in the future because the true past would be written out of history entirely, but it never gets that far. The entire story would revolve around one guy who is sort of resisting the new information, which causes the simulation itself to become irregular and sort of splinter. Because of that, some parts of the game would have had elements from Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 1 all in the same sort of section. Eventually your character breaks free of the programming and tries to shut this clandestine government operation down, because they're doing bad stuff and trying to delete history from the record books. It was all Orwellian and history is written by the victors kind of stuff." So I'm going to stop right there and talk about this a little bit. So right off the bat, this does sound like something Treyarch would do instead of, say, Sledgehammer or Infinity Ward. These campaigns have been made by Blundell, the same guy who makes Zombies, and so this sounds just like a story that he would come up with. And it kind of, it does tie into Black Ops 3 well, and it's apparently going to have elements from Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and Black Ops 1 as well. So that would be exciting to see that, hey, maybe you go back and one of the missions is actually in Vorkuta from Black Ops 1, or maybe Odysseus from Black Ops 2 or something like that, you know? Where we go back and we play through little segments of the previous campaigns, but I feel like the campaign would kind of resemble the Zombies map Revelations in a way. Revelations was kind of a mix of a lot of other Zombies maps that they've created all into one. So it has Keynote or Toten, Nocturne on Toten, Verrucht, Shangri-La, Derizendrock, and Origins, and Mob of the Dead, and a bunch of other Zombies maps. And it's all just kind of like has a little bit of section of the original map, but then it changes some things and merges them into a different map. So I feel like that's what the campaign would be like, that once Treyarch did Revelations, they're like, huh, what if we did this for the campaign? And I feel like that's what this kind of would look like. You'd have missions from Black Ops 2 that lead into missions from Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 1 missions that immediately move into Black Ops 3 missions and stuff. So, I don't know, it sounds like something Treyarch would do, so it sounds legit. So we're going to keep going. So he says, "When the Treyarch team initially presented Activision with the loose framework for this game, they were down with it. But as time continued, the project grew unwieldy and far too big to finish. Not only that, Activision execs were getting a little bit worried about the overemphasis on the future again, because that's where the majority of the story for this game would have taken place. It was eventually deemed to be too outlandish and too similar to the scrapped Black Ops 3 concept to work. They were worried that the Call of Duty community would never accept a game where you mentally travel through time." So, this is good news, I guess, that Activision is like actually thinking about the fans, actually thinking about us, being like, huh, I don't know if you guys would like this. I don't know if you guys like future stuff. I don't know if you guys want another future game. So, I guess the Activision executives hear us. It's just a matter of them actually doing it. So, I don't know. I think that instead of scrapping the campaign, they should have just changed some of the framework and things of it. Instead of just scrapping it entirely and not having a campaign at all. I don't know. So let's keep going again. But this wasn't the first time that Treyarch had tried something like this. I don't know how much you know / remember about a series of leaks pre-Black Ops 3 regarding a game with the codename Solaris. Those leaks were me too. Different source though. In Solaris, what Black Ops 3 should have been before being scrapped just over a year before release, you would have taken control of a brand new character that was somehow linked with the past. You don't know it at the time, but it's because of a DNI chip in his neck being sort of faulty. Solaris would have happened far in the future, much further ahead than Black Ops 3 was, but it would have also felt like it was in the past. A coronal mass injection from the sun had wiped out all technology on the Earth, but humanity had become incredibly reliant on the technology that they lived alongside, to the degree that the average Joe had no idea how most of the world even ran anymore. Or if they did, they had no idea how to operate or fix the devices that kept the world on track. Not only that, by this point, almost everyone on the globe was implanted with a DNI unit, and when the CME hit the Earth, it knocked those for 6 too, greatly degrading the mental power of basically every human on the planet. The world was set back to what was basically the medieval times, just if medieval England had a more advanced weapons set. Cities became kingdoms, each one with a ruler, and for the most part people lived in peace. The biggest caveat for these kingdoms was that, in most of them, weaponry of any kind was banned for the general public. I mean, makes sense, these new rulers want to keep hold of their newly found lands, and you can't very well do that when people are running around with guns. Most of the newer guns had been junked, however, because the onboard units were totally fried by the CME I talked about earlier. Instead, people were manufacturing guns from the ruins of the past, using guns from much older time periods. One of the main story beats in that version of the game revolved around a gun dealing gone wrong. Some shady black market dealings that led to a big old fight against the ruler of a certain city kingdom. There were flashbacks between the present and the past too. The main character's DNI was, like I said, sort of malfunctioning better than everyone else's. Somehow it managed to retain a limited functionality and was attempting to reconnect to the rest of the network. It was sort of similar to the rogue AI at the end of Black Ops 3. This DNI was smarter than your average DNI or something along those lines. Either way, it would pull the main character into simulations of the past, trying to tell him the history of the world, the history of the technology, and how it all went so wrong. Anyway, that's enough Black Ops 3 stuff. I'm sure you can see where Solaris overlaps with the aborted Black Ops 4 campaign. So Black Ops 3, that was all about that game, about how it was about a year before it came out and in development. So I mean, the black market stuff, obviously that came into Black Ops 4. There was, some storyline stuff that still overlapped and still made it into the final game, but it sounds like the game itself was just entirely changed. So for those of you guys saying out there just like me that Black Ops 3's storyline didn't make sense and the campaign wasn't that great, I guess it sounds like it was because the storyline and everything was scrapped about a year before the game came out. So they had to scramble and hurry and make a new campaign in order to reach that timeline and finish the game upon release. So next he talks about the Battle Royale mode. So we talked about this yesterday, but he gives a little bit more details about it. He says, next let's talk about the Battle Royale mode. I can now go a lot further in depth now that I understand it a lot better. Following the disintegration of Black Ops 4's campaign, something needed to be done. They couldn't just ship a Call of Duty game with only 2 main modes. So Activision decided to make a best out of a bad situation. Raven Games, it's actually Raven Software, were brought in to fill the gap with a brand new mode, a first for the Call of Duty, a Battle Royale mode. Activision has always wanted to bring something like Call of Duty Online to the global forefront, but they've never known how to do it without risking mainline COD games in the West. Who would buy new Call of Duty games if you could just play a constantly evolving multiplayer like COD Online, right? But then Battle Royale happened, and it opened up a whole new realm of possibility for the Call of Duty franchise, one which Raven have already begun experimenting with on Call of Duty Online. So, I guess that makes sense a little bit, but it sounds like Battle Royale mode is going to be an add-on for Black Ops 4, so it doesn't really make sense that, they're trying to bring COD Online to the West, but it's just going to be a normal Call of Duty game as usual, so whatever. This begins a new age for Call of Duty and will fundamentally restructure the way we think about new additions to the franchise. Battle Royale will become Raven Software's full-time task when it comes to Western Call of Duty titles, a constantly evolving game as new Call of Duty titles are revealed. This is equally difficult to explain and understand because no game has really done anything like this in the past, so please bear with me if the next couple of paragraphs seem a little unhinged or hard to follow in comparison to the segment about campaign. Raven Software will be launching Call of Duty Battle Royale alongside Black Ops 4, and the only way you will be able to play it is by purchasing Black Ops 4, but the game isn't necessarily a part of Black Ops 4. It will be downloaded digitally and launched via a separate launcher on your console/PC, and as a new Call of Duty DLC and games are released, this dedicated Battle Royale launcher will be updated with new maps, guns, and other forms of content that fit with that Call of Duty release. In order to play the new game-specific content, you actually have to buy the next game in the series. For example, say Infinite Warfare released Modern Warfare 4 next year. It actually means Infinity Ward, but whatever. There would be a series of modern maps for Battle Royale launcher released as well. It will be a constantly evolving side game that keeps up with new content and may even dip into older content as well, sort of like COD Online, but for future games instead of older games, and only a Battle Royale mode. This is true evolution into games as a service. So, right off the bat, it sounds like Modern Warfare Remastered a little bit, how Modern Warfare Remastered was tied to Infinite Warfare, how you had to buy Infinite Warfare to play Modern Warfare Remastered. You couldn't just buy Modern Warfare Remastered on its own at first. You had to buy Infinite Warfare. You had to have Infinite Warfare downloaded in some cases, and it was just kind of a mess, and it really pissed fans off. But now it sounds like in order to get this Battle Royale Call of Duty game, you have to buy Black Ops 4, and say a year from now, in 2019, if you want to keep playing that Battle Royale mode, then you gotta buy Infinity Ward's next game. And if you want to play the Battle Royale mode, a year after that, you gotta buy Sledgehammer's game. And it's kind of interesting as well that it's apparently only a Battle Royale mode game as well. And so it sounds like they're trying to make this pay off for years, and it's not just like a one-off, one-year gimmick. So, I don't know if Battle Royale games will be still popular in a year. Like, it kind of popped up, and they're, they might be here to stay, but they might just go as far away as they showed up as. So, I don't know. This is interesting to me, and I mean, it makes sense. Activision wants to make money. They want to keep selling these older Call of Duty games, these games, the traditional ones, but they also want to make a games as a service thing, sort of like, how Fortnite and all these free-to-play games are. So, the next thing that he talks about is about zombies and Blundell. So, he says here, next I'll be talking about zombies, and of course after that, my crazy claim that Blundell will be leaving after Black Ops 4 concludes. There will be at least 2 maps to launch with Black Ops 4, and both of them will be more ambitious than any Call of Duty title to date. As pretty much everybody has heard by this point, one of those maps will be Mob of the Dead, but it won't be the Mob of the Dead that you know. It takes place in the real world and will unfortunately be played by the Transit Crew. Yeah, they're back. The story of this map kicks off exactly where the comic book ends. The Transit Crew emerges from their pods on Alcatraz Island and will then have to fight their way off of it. This all takes place in Monty's perfect universe, and the Transit Crew were never supposed to be in. They are the final link to the universes of old, the last thing sort of bridging the gap between what Monty has done and what came before his actions and revelations. They shouldn't exist, and with them comes corruption to the very essence of his universe. The universe around them begins to bend and buckle with the strain of them even existing there. The very stitching of the universe is made up by 115, and this starts to go haywire. Once more, resurrecting the dead and opening gates to universes thought destroyed. They are Richthofen's ultimate fallback plan, and you will play as them through the rest of the DLC on a quest to save the Primus and Ultimus crews from ultimate destruction. Meanwhile, I can't talk much about the secondary map. London, 1940s, it doesn't seem like much, and that's because it isn't. But it's all I'm allowed to let loose on, and people already knew that London was a thing anyway. The issue with ambitious projects like these upcoming zombies maps is that they add a lot of pressure onto the people working with them. Timelines get shorter, work gets harder, certain executives push harder and harder. The zombies team is in a very overworked state at the moment, and certain elements on certain maps aren't coming together the way that they want them to, especially considering they have to get it done for an even earlier release date this time around. Some people have even considered leaving the company, though that was just over a month ago, so things may have gotten better. Either way, Blundell is becoming a bit of an overbearing guy, and it's been sowing discontent into the morale of the workers. It's widely believed that a breakdown in communication and creative differences will be why Blundell is leaving after this game. The campaign of Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 were both primarily his ideas and have been scrapped both times now. Mob of the Dead coming back, I mean, it was kind of speculated and rumored, but I just hate this idea. Like, we've heard rumors that, yeah, it's gonna have pods and stuff under Alcatraz Island. I mean, that comes from the comics as well. But it's like, no, I don't want that. No fan, like, unless you're super into the story and you care about that, it's just the dumbest decision ever, because it's like, we want Mob of the Dead remastered so we can play Mob of the Dead. We wanted Origins remastered so we could play Origins. That's why with Revelations, people are like, yeah, sweet, Origins is going to be in this map. Mob of the Dead is going to be in this map. Oh, it's what, maybe like a 16th of the map of each? Like, okay, cool. Yep, that's it. And that's why people are actually excited for Zombies Chronicles, was because it was a remaster, but nothing else changed. It wasn't these weird hybrid maps with things changed like Revelations was. It was the original map. It was Origins, just as it was in Black Ops 3. New textures, new Black Ops 3 stuff, but it was the same map. They didn't change the layout and junk of the map. They kept it the same. They just remastered it. And that's what we wanted with Mob of the Dead. We don't want things under Alcatraz Island and it being warped and stuff. So it's basically like Revelations meets Mob of the Dead. Things are going to be messed up and changed around and twisted, and different things are going to be added and nonsense. It's like, just give us Mob of the Dead as it was in Black Ops 2. That's what we want. They did that with The Giant. They did that with all the remastered maps in Black Ops 3. Why can't they do that with Mob of the Dead? It's just so dumb. So lastly, he has some information on multiplayer. He says, finally, some information on multiplayer would be nice. And honestly, I'm not sure what I can and can't say here without putting certain people I know at unnecessary levels of risk. I guess what I can say is this. At the moment, multiplayer barely even resembles a Call of Duty game. Parts of it are boots on the ground, parts of it aren't boots on the ground. If they continue going the way they are currently going, well, I don't think that people will like it, to say the least. It's even more of a departure from the series than the World War II multiplayer was before the Divisions update. So, I mean, I didn't mind World War II. It was just like a Call of Duty game to me, but apparently this is going to be an even bigger change than that, and I don't know. So, take all these leaks with a grain of salt. They are just that, as leaks and rumors, but they could come from a valuable source, so you never know. So tell me what you guys' thoughts are on all this in the comments down below. It's been a long video, and I hope you guys understood all that. I'm still trying to kind of comprehend it and break it all down, but there you guys go. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.